All right.
Hi.
Step 2. We're pleased to have the Republican candidate for the mayor of the city of Scranton, Trish Beynon. And Trish is, we've asked Trish to come here and talk to the Government Affairs Committee and other leaders of the chamber. And we want her to feel comfortable and at home here. This is going to be very conversational. And so let's start with just giving you the floor and give you an opportunity to introduce yourself and any opening remarks you'd like.
Hello, everybody, and I'm Trish Beynon, nominee for mayor of Scranton on the Republican ticket. And thank you for everybody for having me here. I really appreciate this so I can get my point out and let people know who I am. And I'm an accounting executive for over 34 years, working for a construction company. I'm also a licensed realtor and a notary. And I want to bring some positive changes to the city of Scranton. I feel like not being politically involved, I can have a fresh outlook and a fresh thought to give to the city of Scranton taxpayers, let them know who I am, what we need to focus on for changes for the city. I'd like to make sure that the roads get what they need. They really are in tough shape around here. If anybody's seen the roads around here, they're pretty bad. I know, they're not good. And I'd like to make sure people know that they have a voice. And the crime has increased. I'm just overall looking to make the city of Scranton a better, happier place for all of our neighborhoods and everyone living in here, and maybe hoping to bring more people into the city of Scranton once they see that something positive is going on. We do have a lot of positive things happening, but I think we need a little bit more positivity in here, a little bit more trust from the people that live in the city of Scranton. They want to make sure that their voices are heard. So my goal as mayor is to work for everybody in the city of Scranton, make sure they know they have a voice, and make sure they know that they can count on me because I will be there for them. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here through the long term to make sure that they have a leader that they expect. So thank you very much.
So obviously the focus of the Greater Scranton Chamber of Commerce is economic development. And while we work in very specific areas of the chamber and we partner with the city in a number of different areas, I'd like to ask you sort of broadly, what thoughts do you have as potentially as mayor? What would you try to do to attract and retain businesses in Scranton?
Well, I'm not against the Amtrak. I was listening. I had a lot of different people talking to me about the concerns about Amtrak. I think that would definitely bring more foot traffic into the area. I think it's a great opportunity for people to see going from one area to the other instead of taking a car or taking the bus. Buses are nice, but as far as luxury would be concerned, I think that would be a fantastic idea. I think we definitely need to build more buildings, more for the people in the city of Scranton. Most of the college students, unfortunately, they leave the area. Anybody with a trade, even high school students, they leave the area. We want to make sure that we have something for them to stay in the city of Scranton. And I know we're a diverse area. We have a lot of language barriers in the city of Scranton, and I know a lot of people don't know where to turn to, who to go to get the help they need. The chamber would be a great way to start. The banking system, I don't know, with the diversity with the banking, make sure that they can talk to the people they need to get the support and the help they need. Go to the different areas that in the city of Scranton, and definitely City Hall, we have to be able to listen to them. I want to make sure that they know that they have my voice and that I have their back when they need anything at all. I'm going to be there for them, and that's my take on that.
Obviously, the city can't do things exclusively on their own. There have to be partnerships with other governmental entities, county, city, state, federal, et cetera, working together. Your thoughts on how you as mayor would be able to strengthen the relationships, and what specifically, if you have any thoughts on how you as a mayor would work with those other levels of government?
Well, yeah, you definitely have to work with all levels of government. You have to get along, and you have to make sure that you reach out to them to tell them what specifically you're looking for. If we have a problem with finances, make sure we work with all of our local government, our city, state, and also city council. I know city council, sometimes they feel like they're having a difficult time working as a group with everybody. You have to work with everyone, partnership with everyone, make sure we get the funding we need to move forward the city of Scranton. It's important that we work with everyone together.
One of the things that some people sometimes say about governmental entities is there's a challenge of dealing with red tape. Can you speak to how you could help the city improve interactions, particularly with the business community?
Well, again, it goes back to diversity. A lot of times people don't know who to speak with because of their cultural background, and we're like a melting pot in the city of Scranton. I would make sure that they have the people that they can go to in City Hall or anywhere to be able to speak with people directly so they can get the answers they need. We're an elderly population also. And I know a lot of the elderly people don't use computers. They don't know where to turn. They don't know who to go to for their help. And if they do make a phone call, a lot of times in City Hall, they don't get an answer, or it takes them weeks to get a reply. I think we need to be looking more towards, again, the diverse people, the elderly, which there are a lot of in this area, and make sure that they have support and help from us, from the city, from everyone, and even financially. I know that they're financially hurting. I see a lot of people worrying they're going to lose their homes to the taxes or to, it concerns me a lot. I want to make sure that maybe we could use the Homestead Act and possibly get them a little bit of tax, even if we ease it for a little while, a tax burden easement even for a year, so they can pay some of their back taxes off and know that they're not going to lose their home. That worries me. I walk the streets and I talk to a lot of people in my area, and most of the elderly are the ones that are worried mostly about losing their homes and not knowing who to turn to. And a lot of them don't know they can go on a computer and go on the City of Scranton's website because they don't use computers. If it was a little bit more easily accessible for the elderly people to get the communication through, maybe they can walk into City Hall, or they can make that phone call and somebody picks up on the other end. I think that would be a tremendous help for our area. And again, the people that have a language barrier, they don't know who to turn to. I've talked to people and they don't know what to do. And they're either, they don't have a lot of money, low income. We have to look at every angle and every avenue and make sure that we sit down with the people that need our help and that we listen to them. I'm really, it's important to me that every single person in the city of Scranton's voice is heard, regardless of their background, their experience, that everybody has a voice in the city of Scranton. That's what I really want to have happen. Have everybody know that I'm there for them, 100%. I'm not going anywhere, like I said, and I will be there to listen, to help, and to make things happen for the better.
So let's shift gears. Public safety is an important part of the quality of life for a community, and we as a Chamber of Commerce and working with City Hall to attract and retain business, a focus on public safety is obviously important. What are your thoughts on how you as a mayor could support law enforcement, first responders, and others to make Scranton a stronger community?
We definitely have to work with the unions and the non-unions, and especially the fire and the police department. Law enforcement's huge. Crime has increased over the last 2 years in the city of Scranton, which is unfortunate. Homicides have gone up, and the high crime rate has increased. There was a report in the 2024 New York Times. They said how crime has increased. I would definitely work with law enforcement to make sure that our city of Scranton is safer, and also with the sheriff, because the sheriff hears and sees a lot of things that you wouldn't think to reach out to him. But absolutely, and then make sure that law enforcement has what they need to help us out. Make sure that they have the right patrol in the right parts of the city of Scranton. Make sure that they have the right communication so they can quickly reach out to someone when we need to. When they call a number, they have to make sure that they have someone backing them up right away. Sometimes those few minutes really, really matter. And you have to make sure that there's enough law enforcement out there. Make sure that we have people that maybe have little hubs set up in the city of Scranton for people, possibly the University of Scranton if possible. I know that they're a nonprofit. Maybe they would consider putting like a small area in one of their buildings up to hub a police station. That way they're not going across town all the time trying to get to one side of the street, to town to the other. I think that would be a fantastic idea. Maybe more neighborhood watches would be fantastic. Get to know your police officer. Get to know your area. Get to know the people around you. Make friends with people, and I know sometimes that's difficult because people are scared to talk anymore to their neighbors, but try to reach out a little bit. Get to know your neighbors. I think the more you know your neighbors and the more that they know you, the more comfortable they're going to feel coming to you if they have a problem, and the more they're going to say, okay, I know Officer Smith down the road, and he's going to come up and he's going to help me. I've talked to him. I know who he is. I know a little bit about him. Don't be afraid to talk to your police. Make sure that you're working with them. Make sure they have what they need to get the job done. And reach out to the sheriff and just make sure that everyone's understanding that, the police are there for them, the unions are there for them, the non-union people. We're all trying to work together for the betterment of the city of Scranton. I have a passion for the city of Scranton. Living here I'm from northeastern Pennsylvania. I lived in Scranton over 32 years on Scranton's west side, and I've seen it all. And I'll tell you what, it scares me sometimes going out of the house in the middle of like 9 o'clock at night, walking my dog. I'm thinking, oh, geez, should I even be out here? So instead of going around the block, I go right out the door and right back in. And it never used to be that way. I think we should definitely work to make the city of Scranton safer. So for everybody in the community, the elderly, the younger people, everyone's out. They want to make sure that when they don't have to triple lock their doors and put their alarm systems on, which is what I'm doing. And it's a shame. It shouldn't be that way. We should try to get back to a community where we feel safer. We just need stronger law enforcement, and they're doing a great job. Maybe increase law enforcement, maybe little hubs out around the area, and just making sure that people know that we're out there, that they're out there, and I'm out there to back them up.
So one of the most important legislative priorities of the Chamber of Commerce, where through our Government Affairs Committee every year we identify what our key priorities are. Almost always at the top of the list is infrastructure. In your opening remarks, you made some references to the roads. From an infrastructure standpoint, what would your priorities be in terms of improving the city of Scranton?
Well, I think we have to start at the beginning with infrastructure. I know the potholes are terrible around here, but we also have to make sure that I work at a construction company, and I know many of times there's projects going out to bid, and they're not being awarded to a low responsible bonded bidder. And bonding, means that the bonding company is not going to give you a bond to do the job if they don't think you're capable and qualified to do the job and finish it through to fruition. And I know right now we're not giving projects to low bonded bidders, and that's kind of wasting taxpayers' money. So infrastructure could increase and speed up if we just awarded them quicker to the lowest responsible bidder and moved forward from there. I think that would be something for taxpayer dollars included. It would help with the fund with taxpayer dollars. I think the money's kind of being wasted right now with that. We need to make sure we look into that and take care of that for the taxpayers. And the potholes are pretty bad. They're not being done properly. What they're doing now is they're doing that quick fill. They're not cutting them out right. They're not grading them. They're not sealing them properly. They're just kind of running them over with the roller, and then they go away. And then when it snows or heavy rain comes down, of course, you're going to get the pothole back. And there's better ways to fix it. And we need to do the right thing the first time, so we don't have to keep sending the guys out to do things over and over and over again. I'm hoping that we can work with the DPW, which they need a foreman. But anyways, we need to work with the DPW, get them out with their foreman, get the job done right the first time so the roads are good. People feel like that they can go down the street and there's no issues with that. And then paving, we have to work with the utility companies, and the city has to work with utility companies or whoever else is digging up the roads. They'll dig up a road, and say the city of Scranton decides to do those crosswalks, which they did on the city of Scranton roads. A week later, the utility companies or someone else comes down, digs up the road. All of a sudden, those little crosswalks are gone. Have to do the job over again. It's a waste of money. We have to, I think coordination and communication is huge to keep the jobs flowing smoothly. So we have to have the right organization in the city of Scranton to make sure that we don't keep doing jobs over and over again.
One of the biggest challenges that it's emerged, not just in the city, but across the region and even the country, is affordable housing. The city of Scranton has a very diverse levels of housing, particularly what's happening in and around the downtown with high quality market rate housing. But there's a need for that middle space for the worker housing. Do you have any thoughts on what you as a mayor might be able to do to address housing concerns?
Well, we have to work better with the developers in the city of Scranton. I know sometimes we're giving them a hard time, just the basic developers in the city of Scranton, but we do have to work more hand in hand with them so they know that they have a voice and that they can keep going forward. Sometimes there's an issue with trying to get any type of permit going through, and there's always an obstacle in the way. Make sure that we definitely need all different types of housing. I don't know if we need too much more on the low income housing side, but I think we need more housing for the elderly. The elderly people have no place to go. They don't know, they can't really afford to stay in their house, but they don't want to just go to anywhere. They want to go to a house where they feel comfortable. And I think if we can get some kind of organizations together like that, or get the developers knowing, which I know there's a few, I won't mention their names, but I know there's a few out there now that are actually, they're doing buildings for the middle class and for the elderly people. And then if we can get those people that many do want to move out of their home, get them into another house, another development, then that house that they just were in could be back on the market and resold, and we could just keep increasing the people in the tax base in the city of Scranton. I don't want to see people moving out. I want to see them moving in. But we have to have the right tax base for it. We have to have enough housing, and we have to have enough people wanting to stay in the city of Scranton instead of thinking that they're just going to graduate and move out of here. We have to give them a reason. And I think it'd be a good idea, too, if we had more opportunity for more opportunity for people that could learn on the job. You give them an incentive to say, okay, I'm going to teach you on-hand job training right on site, and then keep giving you incremental raises based on that to give you incentive to want to stay. I know that that's important to me because I know a lot of people think they don't have an opportunity to stay in this area. They don't know where to go. They don't know what kind of jobs are out there. There are jobs out there, but a lot of people want highly qualified jobs. Well, maybe they can do some on-job training. I think that would keep people in the area.
So again, we have a very tight window in terms of time, so I'd like to suggest as we maybe lead into your final remarks, if you might also touch on your perspective on healthcare. We're dealing with the challenge of community health, Commonwealth Health Services closing or selling
Right.
Regional and Moses Taylor. Your thoughts on what the city's role, if any, might be involved in helping to mitigate the problem?
Well, that concerns me. I'm hoping that if this actually does completely finish, that there aren't any issues with the people's health care system in this area. I'm hoping that they do the right thing and they keep the hospitals open and they keep it so everyone has enough health care. And touching on that, I know that the emergency room up at Geisinger Community Health, I think it's called now, they were supposed to expand. If anybody ever went into Geisinger and had an emergency and had to sit in a hallway to get service, sitting in a hallway, because I've been there and my mom was there, it's discouraging. And I was kind of hoping, but there was supposed to be a zoning ordinance passed so we could expand the ER, and I believe they were going to also expand the garage area. And that fell through, and that's a shame because we have a lot of people in the city of Scranton coming through, a lot of diversity, a lot of people that need health care constantly. And if for some reason the other hospitals regional closes and Moses, or they downsize, for God, I hope they don't do it, but for some reason we need a good hospital near us. We could do mobile clinics. I think we have a few of them, but mobile health clinics would be a good option to have, so if people can't get out to them, they could go to the person's house or to an area that they can reach out to them for help. But I really think we should think about expanding the emergency room at that hospital, and if it does mean adding some more garages, that's fine because people have to have a place to park. I was hurt that did not go through, and I think we need that. Again, I was there. I lived it. I'm sitting in the emergency room. They call you in, and here's these really good physicians going, well, can I see you over at this hallway over here or next to this bathroom, or they're going to put a halfway curtain up in the middle of a hallway? That's unacceptable. I think that's a shame. That needs to be addressed. I'm really worried about that. I'm hoping, as mayor, we can do that. I'll work with city council. We'll get that zoning back on the books, get it in works, and get the health care service everybody deserves in the city of Scranton back on track.
Any final thoughts you'd like to share?
Well, no, just thank you, everybody, for having me here, and I appreciate it. And like I said, I'm not politically tied, but I do have a lot of great ideas, and I want to work with every single taxpayer in the city of Scranton to make sure that they know that their voices are heard. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here long term. I'm going to use my accounting experience and my license, my real estate license, because I've worked with people and I've seen houses and I've seen the blight and I've seen the concerns in people's faces, and I will make the city of Scranton a better place than anybody could ever imagine. I'm here for the long term to make it for everybody. I want to be I'm transparent, open. You have a question, ask me. I'm not hiding anything. I'm there for everybody. You have anything you need, I'm there for you. I'll do as much as I can. I'm not going to leave the city for any reason. I'm here. God willing, I'll be here for the full 4 years. But thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you, Trish.